So that, in a nutshell, racing through, is the basic concepts about group mode. Whether you want a particular group on or off, so helpful during a shoot. All right? I'll show you, a 3-light headshot, and I'll say, I just want to see what my key light's doing. I want to see what the fill light's doing. I want to see what the hair light's doing. I no longer have to walk over there and literally turn the power buttons off. I do all of that from the speed of the back of my camera. So, in terms of on-camera speedlight control, this to me has been functionality that while we have had it as Canonistas for the last 5 years, so many of us still have yet to discover that we have it. So many of us have yet to discover we have it. So if you have any of the cameras over on the far side of the screen, on the left-hand side of the screen, your camera, if it has a compatible speedlight attached to it, can access and display that speedlight's entire menu on the camera's LCD. And I'm going to set this up and I'm going to show you right now, all right?
What's the advantage of, if you have the transmitter, do you find there's an advantage to utilizing the transmitter or utilizing it through the camera?
So the question is, what's the advantage of doing it on camera? You're just totally going to see it. You're going to see it up on the screen and you go, I get it. Because understanding the difference between this being master enabled and this being master disabled, that's something hard to remember under the pressure of a shoot. But when you see the word master enabled or master disabled, and I don't have to take my glasses and put them on to see those words, and I can make those changes. So you'll get it. You'll get it. I don't mean to be evasive, but when you see this action or this menu system in action, you'll get it. So again, as a reminder, the cameras in green on the left-hand side are the 2012 models. And I'm going to show pre-2012 menu system off my 60D. And then I'll show the 2012 menu system off my 5D Mark III. In terms of compatible speedlights, it's almost everything other than 420EX, the original 430 and original 580EXs, 550. So all of those speedlights, including the new transmitter and including the pop-ups on those 4 cameras that can have the pop-up serve as a master for an off-camera speedlight, the 7D, 60D, T3i, T4i, okay? So, with that said, we're dancing without a net here. Let's see what happens. All right. So I've got my 60D, and it's always crazy. What I'm doing is I'm basically taking the LCD screen on the back, and I'm going to tether it to the projector. If I can get my eyeballs to work here and help me out. There we go. Okay. So this is the back of my 60D. And like any camera person, I look at all this stuff and I go, gosh, this is a lot to know. Okay? And oh, do I really need to know all of it? The star looks great, and that's where I'm going to head. So one of the things I want you to know is that if your camera has a pop-up flash, you're going to find the words flash control. And if your camera doesn't have a pop-up flash, like the 5D series, you're going to look for the words external speedlight control. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is you really don't even need to find it, because what I like to do, and I'm going to avert your eyes here just for a moment. Let's just see. Okay. Yes, of course, it's turned off, so you can't see anything. Okay, so we just changed up a couple of things. Okay. Jump down here to My Menu, and I'm going to... So here we go. Sorry, I'm going to get that off and go back to My Menu. So here's my Menu with nothing listed. I just had to go erase the flash off the My Menu. My Menu is really handy because you can take your 5 most popular menu items that Canon has on the list, and you can say, put them there. So for me, I absolutely want to register, in the case of the 60D, flash function settings, external speedlight control. So you hit register and you scroll down until you find what you're looking for. I hit the set button on the back of the camera, scroll the wheel, and hit the set button again. Oop. And so voila. Now, if I go backwards, anytime I can't figure out, help me, Mr. Wizard, where am I? I scroll over here conveniently to my menu settings, my menu, and I've got flash control now. So let's take a look. I've got a 600EX-RT in the hot shoe of the camera. Flash control. So a couple things to know about. Because this camera is one of the models that has that pop-up flash, I've got options for built-in flash function settings. So if I didn't have the Speedlight in the hot shoe, I would access that menu, and this is where I would use. Okay, so I might as well just jump there really quick. All right. These are all of the settings, and I can run down here and say, I want to turn the wireless system on or off. I want to use just my external Speedlight to be controlled by the pop-up, or I want my pop-up and the external Speedlight, those kind of things happening. So I'm going to jump down here because we're really looking tonight, in the case of the external Speedlights, external flash function settings. So if you don't have your Speedlight turned on, by the way, jump down here. This is what you're going to get. It's going to say, I can't see anything. Dummy. I can't see anything. Dummy. All right. Or you're going to you grabbed your 580EX. There's a model that doesn't work in this mode because it's not compatible. The EX2 does. So if you put an old flash in there, it's going to say, I can't read the menu settings. So you turn it on, you try again, and there we go. So this is like hitting the mode button. ETTL, manual, or multi. Okay? Keep it in ETTL for the moment. Sync, first curtain, it's all right there. And you know what? If English, and I say this sincerely, is a second language or a third language for you, and you speak Spanish or French or German better, your camera's custom functions can be switched over so that it's displaying any of a dozen or more languages. All right? So if you're not a native English speaker, then you can put these menus into the language of your choice. So all of these systems and these controls it's basically reading the Speedlight. If I have this Speedlight in ETTL and I put another Speedlight on that was previously set to manual, the camera's going to pick it up and it's going to say it's in manual. So it's basically taking the settings on the Speedlight and displaying them in a language that I can easily understand. Now, if I have this Speedlight connected to one of those long ETTL cords and I put it inside that Westcott Apollo softbox over there, and it's like, oh gosh, I had it zoomed to 105 for that really creative shot. I can even, because it's talking to the camera through the ETTL cord, and I can go zoom the Speedlight through the hot shoe of the camera. Only the master, or in the case of even a solo Speedlight, whatever camera is directly connected to the hot shoe, either because it's here or it's talking through an ETTL cord. Now, I just pulled up all these options. This is a 600. It would zoom to 200 millimeters, but this guy is stopping at 105. This camera essentially sees this Speedlight as a 580EX. All right? It doesn't know about radio. It doesn't know about zooming to 200. So I don't have that capability. So I'll just zoom it. Now, this is why everyone, I think, should use this system. Because you run down here and you turn on wireless, and all of a sudden, you don't have to worry about whether this is enabled or disabled. It literally says, as you can see on the screen, master flash, enabled or disabled, in the language of your choice, in the middle of the night, without your reading glasses. It says it. It's so easy. Okay, I'm going to change the mode. Anything I want to do. I want to activate 2 group ratios. God, here we go. Okay, and then I'm changing the ratios. Okay? Anything that I can do on the back of my Speedlight, I can do on the back of my camera in a language that's easier for me to read than this iconography. 600 has got good icons. It's got a way better LCD. But if you've got this capability, you should know about it and you should experience it, because many of us find that this back of the camera system is absolutely the way to go. All right? So this is pretty much Last thing I'll point out, custom functions, all right? You can, if you find, like on your 580s, if you don't know what F0100 means, I don't blame you. It means that your power saving is enabled on that particular Speedlite. All right? If you don't know what that means, you can go, okay, external flash, auto power off. I want to disable that. Okay, I'll disable that. Much easier to change custom functions off of the LCD of your camera than to break out the user manual and have to figure out how to program it through the Speedlites control, right? Okay, so let's do this. We're going to switch up camera. We got to think about it. The cord's going to stay. I'm going to pull, and we may have to re-tip the projector or something.
Does the settings stick in the flash when you take it off?
What's that?
Does the settings stick in the flash when you take it off?
The settings stay in the flash. Yes. So the question was, do the settings stay in the flash when you take it off? Yes. So those custom functions, basically what you're doing is you are, this is why I like the screen, because my eyes are old and they don't work. So, okay. So those settings do persist. They do walk away with that Speedlite. There we go. All right, so already on my menu, I have external Speedlight control pre-registered on this 5D Mark III. And now I've got the transmitter in the top. But I'm going to change it out because I want to show you something else. So we'll go, now I don't have the transmitter. See how easy it is to switch up your gear. All right. So what's that yellow light mean? Pop quiz? Means there's another master, right, on the same wireless ID and same channel. Okay, there it is right there. And then I turn this guy off. Oops, sorry, we'll fix that in a moment. Now watch, it's going to change colors really quick. Okay? It's like it can't see anything. Okay, and then it turns back on when it sees. So this guy's obviously set as a slave. Maybe it's not obvious to you, but it is to me. All right, menu. Let's come back. All right, external Speedlight control. Whether you have it set on my menu or you find it on your camera, the original 5D2, which was one of the first cameras to have this capability, hides this way over here, la 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 la, on what I call yellow wrench number 3. It's actually set up number 3, but I prefer to think of it as yellow wrench 3 as opposed to the all ubiquitous red camera 1 dot, also known as the shoot number 1 menu. Most cameras since the 5D2, the engineers have gratefully put external Speedlight control or flash control over on the first camera menu setting. So why would I, and this is a bit of a mind number, why would I want to disable my flash? That's a great question. I could just hit the power switch and do the same thing, couldn't I? Well, that's not what it means. If that said autofocus assist light only, you would have a more clear understanding of what that menu item is really giving you the opportunity to do. If you need the autofocus assist beam because you shoot in low light for focus but you don't want flash, then you can just disable the flash right here and the AF is still going to continue to fire. So maybe in a future generation, hint, hint, Canon will change that name to autofocus assist only. So I'm going to turn the flash back on. And this is a new option on the 2012 cameras, flash sync speed and AV mode. This basically says, and you should probably leave this in auto. If you're smart enough to find this, you're smart enough to know when in aperture priority shutter speeds are too long to hand hold. But basically by taking this out of auto, it's going to limit the shutter speeds available with flash and aperture priority to a range of shutter speeds that most people can typically hand hold, a 60th of a second up to the sync speed of the camera. All right? In my case, if I find myself in a really dim environment in aperture priority and I look in the viewfinder and it says half a second, it's like, oh, okay, I can't hand hold a half a second. I need to do something about that. So that's why I choose to leave it in auto rather than to lock that sync speed and aperture priority. Flash function settings. Welcome to the future. I now on one screen have a quick view of my entire Speedlight system. Okay? So I'm going to change my mode to ETTL. I'm going to turn my wireless off. Now, look at the lower left-hand corner of the screen. As I jump over and I turn radio wireless on, It tells me channel 7, my master's enabled. I'm firing all the groups, and there's my secret ID, my other secret ID, 0100, okay? So we can't use that. All right, now if I change it to optical wireless, that right-hand corner changed because optical wireless has a different channel system. Basically, we have 4 channels in optical wireless. Okay, I've got my master enabled or disabled. And if you can't remember what those 3 fingers mean or whether the arrow is supposed to point to the flash or away from the flash, don't worry about it. It's just saying master flash firing enable or disable. So we'll disable it because I don't want that on-camera flash. I'm here in ETTL, so I can say, all right, let's go to ratios. And then notice that the ratio scale pops up. And I can change it all. This new system, this quick view system is amazing to me. Now, anybody here have the new EOS M mirrorless camera? Anybody have that? Okay, you've got that. What about our T4i? Does anybody have a Rebel T4i? The reason I ask, both of those cameras have touchscreen menus. So rather than do the wheel and the button, you walk up and you go, bam, and you hit ETTL. And it's essentially, you tap ETTL, and that's what pops up. And you hit M, and it's the same as doing this. The touchscreen capabilities of Canon's T4i and the EOS M are amazing, and it works with Speedlites. Works with Speedlights. I so hope that the engineers give us that touchscreen capability on the higher-end cameras going forward. Okay, so how do we read this? Manual mode, optical, zoom at 24. What sync is that? Is that first or second? First, because the dark triangle is on the front side, right? That's when the flash is going to fire. I say dark triangle. Maybe I should say the lit triangle. If I change that, why does it not have second curtain sync as an option? What's going on? Because I've got the wireless here. So if I shut the wireless off, okay, then in my sync I've got first curtain, flash at the beginning, second curtain, flash at the end, or high speed as my options. Okay? All right. So do you guys see how this on-camera control can make things incredibly fast? This, to me, is much, much easier. Okay? I'm going to steal the picture. This is much easier for me to see in real time than even to look up here. So let's just go ahead and switch it back.
If you have a transmitter, your control. I'm just confused as to what you're controlling. Is this? It's not replacing the transmitter. You're just doing.
So now, the question is, if I have the transmitter and the hot shoe, what is this controlling? The real answer is, if I have the transmitter and the hot shoe, this is showing me the settings on the transmitter. Okay? Not that you can see this, but it says manual and radio. Zoom is set to auto. Why? Because on the transmitter there is no zoom. So I just found the original Speedlight I used. And rather than wire this up, I'm just going to talk through it really quick. Right there, it's an ETTL. So the point is that if I change devices in the hot shoe, the menu is going to pick up the settings. It doesn't take the settings from this and force them into this device. All the menu on the camera is doing is showing you the settings on this device. So in the case of this little guy, it is so easy for me to see the menu system that I had up on the screen, the menu system that's on the back of my camera, and then I covet that touchscreen just to be able to go bang and make that change in mode, or bang and hit that power. It's like smashing your iPhone on the back of your camera. Question?
Yeah, the other thing too is that you were saying when it's coming on the back of your camera, you don't have to look at the top of it. So if your objective is to look at your model, you can now look at the back.
Yeah, it's you know, this interface here is not that cumbersome, but any of us who have to strap on eyeballs to be able to read small things, okay, you know, it's like, all right, this isn't bad, but seeing it here is so much faster, especially when I basically hit menu, external speedlight control, flash function settings, and in one quick glance in big letters, I say, oh yeah, okay, it's in manual mode, first curtain sync, and my flash power is at full power.